For those of you who have been living under a rock, there's been a bit of a kerfuffle in the Pokemon community. And no, I'm not talking about Team Rocket. They are child's play compared to what this person has stirred up.
Welcome back, Wolfpack.
We know who it is. It's Verlisify. Verlisify has made money off promoting the mindset that cheating or hacking, if you will, in Pokemon is wrong.
Now top players that are cheating non-stop, but also getting away with it because there's favoritism involved, and it's really making the competitive scene a hilarious joke.
But recently, he's taken a stance on the notion that glitching is not a form of cheating.
Video is that glitching is not cheating, and hacking is not comparable to glitching at all.
Sure, Dan.
He believes this is because he's made multiple videos about glitching and how to exploit the games to get items, Pokemons, into locations and other advances in games. And now his fans are looking at him not as credible, and he's made a video to more so or less defend himself or his views on glitching, saying glitching is not a form of cheating when it is, you know. And that's not just in Pokemon, that's in many games.
If you read these are game glitches. You know why there were game glitches back in 1996? Because it was 1996. If you look at, like, this is how closed-minded Gen Liners are. They don't understand the world outside of them, and I feel like it's kind of like that millennial mentality that people are starting to get really fed up with. I feel that the Gen Liner kind of argument just falls into all this millennial argument, but just specifically in Pokemon, and specifically without being able to tolerate any criticisms of the 5th generation. So we have the problem with Gen 1, and it's all game bugs and stuff, because programming was bad back then. Look at some of the greatest games of all time, like Super Mario 64 and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. These games are broken. If you look at speedruns, people go and tear these games apart.
Let me make this clear as possible. Granted, everybody's allowed to have their opinion.
There's a lot of stupidity. I've deleted most of the comments because I don't want to deal with people feeling supported and justified in their absolutely wrong mentality.
Now he's going through and he's
clickbait
blocking their
I
comments.
just go and ban these people because how is this clickbait dim? These fucking idiots about it. And did you see the smile on my face? Because they are fucking idiots. And if that upsets you, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, excuse me. Sometimes, I guess, people are allowed to have their opinion. Isn't that something? But, let's make this clear. Your opinion do not preclude you from being wrong, or it does not relinquish you from hypocrisy. And that's what he's being in this video, a hypocrite. You know, and I like the controversy. You know, it's a controversy. You know, people love controversy. It's a selling point. People like scandal. He openly says it's not against the rules as Jenning is.
It doesn't break the rules in any way. The only thing that people are getting upset about is that it looks cheaty. It doesn't mean that it is cheaty. You can be against certain glitches, but as long as the rules are not strictly against them, then you really don't have a case, and that's what this video...
Glitching is different. His main support is VGC rules.
At all, because it's not in the rules. If you look at the rules for Pokemon, no modifying, no creating Pokemon, even if they have these same obtainable stats, that the time saved is objectively an advantage in Pokemon, because time is the biggest factor inside of Pokemon. It's not a mechanical, action-based game of skill like that. That's a lot of knowledge-based. It takes time to build the knowledge. It takes time to build and experiment with your teams, and even the...
Well, it's just Ditto's transform. You can't forget how important the trainer's ability is, too.
Huh?
It's It's not the Pokemon, but the trainer who decides which attack to use in a battle, right? And that means if you raise a Ditto, its progress and power are connected directly to your own.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right about that, Ash.
Sounds like you've been studying, Ash.
Nowhere in the rules does it say you're not allowed to glitch or exploit of any kind, because there's going to be different ranges. That if I was using everything in-game, I was doing only in-game glitches or only in-game methods, and I obtain a Pokemon that has above-average stats or a move that it doesn't normally learn, that Pokemon's still illegal because the rules have clearly defined legal Pokemon.
If you think for a second the company that has issues with a Pokemon appearing in a specific Pokeball, which it can't be attainment or proves of glitching, then you are oblivious. Oblivious. There's no proof on any forms of glitching being legitimized in the Pokemon company when it comes to tournaments and natural gameplay. Yes, there's been acknowledgments of them, but that's exactly what they are, acknowledgement.
Cloning if you're against all this. Well, cloning has been ruled as illegal by the Pokemon Company. I've spoken with many judges at events. I've also emailed the Pokemon Company and got a message saying that no, they do not want you to be using the Wi-Fi or like turning off your DS and doing something like that to glitch the game into cloning a Pokemon. So that goes into like certain Pokemon creation and modification as well with the cloning. Now, I don't have any screenshots of this because this was like 4 years ago.
If glitching clones are illegal according to Verlis and are not covered in the, VGC rules, then what makes you think glitching in general isn't illegal? But just admit it in the rules, just like cloning is. There's no proof. You can't just make these assumptions and expect people to believe it. And people are not buying it, as you can see by the likes and dislike ratio of the video. It's not like he proved for verbatim that what he's saying is true. He just give, these assumptions.
Milking it! So not only is the idea just super desperate.
Even the smallest bit of evidence. It's not like you can enter two of the same Pokemon in a VGC tournament anyway. So more or less, the confirmation that he claims he's gotten from the Pokemon company is just, proof that the companies do not like glitching it at all because it's just a illegitimized function of the game. When it comes to Verlisify, he is an opportunist. He will spin whatever narrative he needs to stay face. In this situation, he really has no legs. No legs to stand on at all. It is ridiculous that this community is divided by something the community can even enforce.
But now let's go into the Pokemon Red and Blue glitches, because that's where we get into allowing it. The Pokemon Company is not allowing hacking at all. That we can see that they're banning people. That almost 6,000 players were banned for having save modification. For using hacking devices, they were banned for that. How many players were banned for trying to bring glitch Pokemon through the GTS? None. Because it gave you a little message that said, oh, you have a problem with your Pokemon, sorry, those have been removed.
It's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Yeah, take your ass to an official tournament and say, yeah, I use glitching to get these Pokemon, and I enhance my game, and now I'm here to play. They will kick your ass out of that tournament. You will be either disqualified or penalized some way. Glitching is not hacking. Maybe. But it is cheating. You get an advantage by doing this exploit who people who do not do the exploit do not get. It's the same as Jenny. Period. And you might be asking yourself, why is glitching considered wrong in the Pokemon community eyes? Well, it distorts your game, or it could. Pokemon has a pretty much acknowledged missing no and tells you this is how you get rid of missing no, or this is how you stop the game glitches caused by various exploits of the game. And that acknowledgement does not say, yes, we approve of glitching. It's just an acknowledgement. It's more or less saying, oh, glitches exist. This is how you fix glitches. There have not been any confirmation that glitches are okay to exploit. They patched modern Pokemon games like Pokemon Go, Auras, and the recent Sun and Moon games with downloads to prevent glitches and bugs. And that spans all the way back to Diamond and Pearl. But seriously, according to Bulbapedia, it expanded far away to the original Ruby and Sapphire games. So, yeah.
Intentional thing, that this was allowed intentionally, or two, the Pokemon get restricted. Now, it turned out that the second one happened, that if you tried to transfer a glitch Pokemon, it would say blocked. However, that's not even a bad thing at all. That means you're playing effectively single player. Now, the rules lie in modern Pokemon, VGC, the 7th generation, that there aren't any exclusive cases about what you can do in the red and blue virtual console.
It's getting a little bit carried away.
It's just a white lie to help it believe in itself.
Even if it gets blocked, you can still glitch in the game.
Even if it gets blocked, you can still glitch in the game. Even if it's blocked, you can still glitch in the game.
Like, there's a gate there. So whatever is allowed to participate in the current supported formats. Whatever isn't just stays in your game. Therefore, it's completely harmless, and it's for that nostalgia factor right there, and it's for the fun of the game. So really, it was a win-win situation.
Just stand there in your wrongness and be wrong and get used to it.
The rules do not apply to red and blue, and whatever they don't want the rules applying to, that stays back in your effectively single-player game. Therefore, glitch away, have some fun enjoying how broken the game is.
Sounds good to me, but first, let me call on our good friend Satan.
Oh, Satan!
Hello, my favorite demon followers.
What do you say, Satan? Can you crank up the heat a little in this disgusting crap hole while we drain the life out of these pathetic run-of-the-mill talentless children?
Sounds good to me.
So, because they're not specific rules about the console versions of yellow, blue, and red, you can use glitches within them and transfer them to versions of Sun and Moon and enter those Pokemon into the competitive VGC competition, and you'll be okay. So by that logic, since the Sun and Moon and X and Y games have connectivity with Sun and Moon and also do not have any specific rules in the Sun and Moon VGC, you can hack in those games and transfer those Pokemon to Sun and Moon and you'll be fine. That makes sense. Like, that's dumb. I know that's mean, but that's dumb. And I'll bring up the exploitive definition and play it alongside this clip.
This is just a monthly glitch that no one has caught until now. Because as you can see, I changed it to a completely different month. I just moved it to the end of August, so it's 8th into 9th. So we have August into September 2018, and I went into my game, and there's Pokemon that have items for me right now. So I saved, I did everything, and look at that money making as well. That's 50,000 in just a couple minutes, actually more because of the nugget. Yeah, that's almost 60,000 Poké Dollars right there. Now I didn't have any of the other Pokemon stuff, and Wow, okay, so that's a bottle cap, which means that my driller should be done with the EV training, and it'll say 99 out of 99. Like, what is happening? How does that even work? That's crazy. That's so crazy. And then all we have to do is tap on this, hit the summary, and then we can see that Drillbur is now EV trained. So I just hit to level 50 and we're done. So in the course of making a video, I've also made a competitive Pokemon, and if I really wanted to, I could slap it back in there, get all the experience up to level 50. Oh, that's so nutty. How did this... Wow!
Does that not look like exploitation? It is. The official VGC rules says if you do not have the current patch download for VGC tournaments, you might be disqualified or penalized. That seems like a company that supports glitching, does it?
So it's not me picking and choosing what I want to apply to me, or some kind of wordplay and twisting my own hypocrisy to where I can never be wrong like all these other comments and haters are saying. You just need a slight bit of intelligence, and you can see no hacking, period. Everything else is kind of case by case, and then the Pokemon Company will intervene when they think it is bad enough to be prevented. But also, what about exploits? Because that's the other big thing. Just because I put exploit in the title of the video, one, doesn't mean that's like a true game-breaking illegal exploit, and two, doesn't mean that it's also immediately cheating or against the rules. So now we also have to say that not only is glitching not hacking and not immediately cheating, but also that hacking and glitching and exploits are also their own separate things, because an exploit comes in many different flavors that people can call something like a life hack, not a real hacking the game modifying, but an incredibly useful trick inside the game that feels exploity. Like, oh, I know the game developers probably didn't intend for this to happen, but it's a very vanilla way of dealing with the game. And then exploits start getting extra crazy because they could be weaker or stronger than an actual glitch because of the vague nature of the definitions. That all the definitions that we're playing with, for the most part, are going to be very community exclusive and also not super clearly defined and unofficial. That when we're talking about like glitching or bugs or hacking, that's not like computer hacking and stealing passwords and stuff. It's just the usage of hacking tools, which have been named hacking tools by developers or... God damn. Hold up, bitch.
Yeah, you definitely need to keep your mouth shut. Not all computer hacks is reliant on hacking tools. You can manipulate files in the CMD to create commands, other files, and programs from scratch to hack into systems. And there are literally thousands of videos on YouTube that show one how to do this. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's funny because all these people believe you because you, I don't know why they believe you.
Just ignore him. He'll go away. Well, this is in high school, and he's not a high school bully. He, however, is a bully with a platform of 300,000 subscribers that he is standing on and influencing. That's a lot of influence. That's a lot of power. What I think, though, is that bullies have insecurities and flaws. So I think the only way to beat a bully is to point out his insecurities and flaws, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video.
Exploiting the game's functionality through glitches. And it's just as bad as exploiting your very young and impressionable audience to generate attention. Good for you.
However, this is not what I'm making my case of. But you make absolutely no distinction between those type of hatch Pokemon and legal hacks. Legal hacks is not a term that any person that is against cheating in Pokemon says.
Legal hacks is not a term that any person that is against cheating in Pokemon says. Legal hacks is not a term that any person that is against cheating in Pokemon says.
Legal hacks is not a term that any person that is against cheating in Pokemon says.
I hope the irony's not lost on you, Simpson.
That's just the way that it is. You don't see someone saying it's hacked, but it has legal stats, so it's allowed. That's only something that cheat supporters say.
But if you still don't believe me, if you still are willing to believe his lies, here's the original announcement regarding the 6,000 players who were banned. And this is the translation of this specific passage. We have confirmed that the data itself of the game's software has been illegally altered. It says one of the ways players were found was through saved modifications. Here's where Verlis is contradicted. Here the company says data modification is illegal. And according to Bubblepedia, glitches presented in Pokemon games can have a variety of effects, such as disruption of graphics or audio effects, the appearance of glitched Pokemon, or the corruption of saved data. So, it was a combination of game modifications and glitches when those 6,000 players were banned. I will post the links in the video. You can go check them out yourself. Remember, save data. That's his argument. They caught him through save data. This is what the announcement said. This is what Verlisify says. According to Wikipedia, glitches manifest in save data too. So he knows what he's doing. He's doing what he always does. He's twisting it. He's twisting vocabulary. He's twisting rules which do not exist, but he's saying they're existing, but they don't exist. Word of mouth, but it's also heavily, documented it, but he didn't show it, so it doesn't exist. Show and tell. Show, then tell. It's not tell. I mean, I can tell you anything. I can make up a story right now. I was the VGC champion of 2010. Yeah, that was me. I don't have to, give you any proof, but I can just say anything I want. And it happened 4 years ago. I didn't plan to do this video 4 years ago. They are glitches. Glitches are not planned for. The programming, the developers of the games cannot plan for unintentional glitches that are exploitative. They can patch it later, but that's all they can do. They can't develop the game and have future insight that are expected. Do he know the inner workings of these games? No, he doesn't. So when you are doing these glitches, you can potentially screw up your game and lose, could lose your game, but you could lose your Pokemon and lose your hours of breeding. Ooh, those precious hours wasted. Those wasted hours. I can't get those hours back. Oh my god. So Verlisify, have I convinced you yet? Maybe you can explain it better than I can.
So right here, we can scroll up. This is the Pokemon website. Terms of use, this applies to all Pokemon games, all apps published by Pokemon, whether it's tablets, smart TVs, video game consoles, any platform unless otherwise indicated in the app, but that includes XY, Pokemon Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The terms of use apply here. We go to rights and restrictions, effectively things you can and cannot do, mostly things you can't do, such as use or facilitate the use of any unauthorized third-party software, bots, mods, hacks, scripts. That means you can't use Power Save to clone even a legal Pokemon. Like, if the Pokemon was caught in-game, the second you clone it, illegitimate right there. So that's the Pokemon Terms of Service saying this. But also, we have this one right here. Take any action to cause or exploit known or latent malfunctions, bugs, or other defects in the service or system used to operate the service.
Take any action to cause or exploit known or latent malfunctions, bugs, or other defects in the service or system used to operate the service. Take any action to cause or exploit known or latent malfunctions, bugs, or other defects in the service or system used to operate the service.
Take any action to cause or exploit known or latent malfunctions, bugs, or other defects in the service or system used to operate the service.
What? How long has that thing been on?
Long enough for the mindless pawns tearing this country apart comment, I think.
Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange.
I wanted to say that my girlfriend broke up with me this morning.
But I think you're just mad 'cause you're single.